Hello and welcome to Your Local Note. I'm RJ. Mike is behind the scenes making sure we look and sound good. We're going to be hanging with Flesh Engine tonight. Can't wait to talk to these guys. They've been around for a while, veteran Philadelphia band, and they love to rock. And we're going to get to a song right away, and you'll know right away what you're in for tonight. It's going to be great. Also want to remind you we're streaming 24/7. Nothing but the best Philadelphia area music. They're all local bands 24/7 right here on yourlocalnote.com. And of course, we've got free apps. Just download them at the Perspective stores. YLN, download it for free and take yourlocalnote.com with you anywhere you go. Okay, let's get everything started. We've got Flesh Engine in the studio. The first song we're going to hear is Walker of the Plains from their album Purging Existence right here on yourlocalnote.com.
And so I go to find my people in the afterglow.
The song is called Walker of the Plains. It's from the album Purging Existence. And the band is called Flesh Engine. And they are joining us now. Guys, welcome to yourlocalnote.com.
Hey,
Thank you.
How you doing?
Thanks for having us.
Appreciate you coming out. Let's do this. Why don't you introduce yourselves and what you do with the band? We'll start.
Dave, I play lead guitar.
My name's Dustin. I am the lead vocalist and the other rhythm guitar player.
I'm Ted. I'm the drummer.
And I'm Paul, bass player / backup vocals.
Okay, guys. Let's talk about let's talk about the band first, and we'll come back to this song and talk a little bit about that. But okay, Flesh Engine. You know, David, you and I talked a little bit before, and you told me you've been together about 8 or 9 years now.
8 years now.
Okay, 8 years. How did you guys get together? What was the formation of this band? Obviously, your brother and you probably just knew each other for a long time.
Yeah. Paul actually was in this band before I was. He answered an ad for a bass player. He joined up with Dustin in 2007 or 2006, and I came into the band in January 07. And Ted's been with us about 3 years now.
Okay.
So Ted's the newer guy.
All right. And Dustin's been with you for
since the beginning.
Since the beginning?
Yeah, the band was a weird. I was basically, my first band was this weird punk band.
Okay.
I guess you would call it a punk band or whatever it was called. And then slowly the people started kind of jumping out of the band, and then me and the one guy decided to change the name and everything since we lost a bunch of people, and we changed the name to Flesh Engine.
And why?
Flesh Engine at the time was this whole like spiritual thing I was going through. Where I felt like the way the cliques and stuff worked with like gangsters and these type of people and these type of people, I felt like everyone was like robotic and basically just wearing flesh, and it was like the Flesh Engine was supposed to like redistribute like your individuality. I used to sing about that like a lot. That was my main lyrical focus. Okay, but also it was just a cool name, honestly.
All right. Well, it stands out.
Yeah.
That's what we try to do.
Because you look at it and it's like Flesh Engine. Okay. Let's go back to the first song that we played, Walker of the Plains. Who wrote it? What is it about?
This one was mainly written by me for the most part, but we always all have contribution and stuff. Like I don't write bass lines. I don't write drums, and I didn't write most of the like little lead parts that Dave does.
But the idea
came, and lyrically, it's just a song about how we're pretty much trashing our world. We're destroying basically what we got, and it's from the perspective of somebody. If somebody were to live outside of, like maybe an alien or somebody outside of our society, would look in and go, "Oh wow, you guys screwed up, man. What are you doing with what you had? This beautiful planet and stuff."
Okay, very cool. Now, do you write most of the lyrics for the band?
I write all the lyrics.
You write all the lyrics. Do you like to tell stories then? Are most of the lyrics that you write are sort of a story message type thing?
Funny enough, our whole first album, Walking the Aether, was basically a concept album. So yeah, I'm real into story mode. This album has a lot more like emotional ties to like I have some bad upbringing, you know, blah 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 stuff.
Okay.
Some little.
So there's some life experience involved.
Yeah, this album's got more life experience, but I still throw a lot of it into a story perspective. I like to sit from a character's point of view and then kind of drive you through the story.
So your life experience sort of just helps add color and texture to the
definitely,
to the
especially for this album. This is a lot of like stuff I had to go through in life.
Did you talk to the rest of the band members about what you were trying to do with the songs, or it just you just come and say, "Here's another song"?
Sometimes I try to. For the most part, though, they definitely listen and encourage. I show them every lyric because also we all believe in not throwing anything out that not everybody's understanding, at least on the base level. Yeah. Like you don't like. What if I'm like making songs about rape and one of them don't believe in rape or something? That's not fair, right?
Okay.
I mean, that's not what we're writing about.
Yeah. I understand you're trying to make an example. Don't worry. We're not the PC police here, so, you know, I don't get too crazy about that. I understand you were trying to make a point, and it was made. A little crude, but it was made. No, it's good. It's no problem. All right, then. As far as when he comes to you, let's start off with the rhythm section. You guys, he comes to you with a song. You ask him what he's trying to feel with this song, or do you listen to what he's done? Do you put like a demo together, play it for them, and then you guys try to pick up on that and try to add to it without really?
Usually, Dustin will come if he writes the song himself. He'll come to us with a demo. I'm like, all right, let's try this. You know what I mean? Learn the riffs. You know what I mean? Kind of learn the rhythm patterns. Like, you know, this could be cool, kind of here. Or if we beef this up here, we could do something with this.
Basically, it's not always like just this song was written almost completely like me. It was old, basically. I brought it to them later. A lot of our songwriting process comes with us staring at the wall going, all right, how's this sound? and then Paul's even written guitar riffs, accidentally.
Yeah.
Like, there's been times Ted has thrown a drum beat out there, and then we kind of wrote a riff over it. There's been times like Dave throws riffs. We all, I'd have to say, I think the one thing that doesn't happen to us, which I've seen happen to a lot of bands, is we don't have a whole lot of creative differences except for the normal, like, oh, I don't like that, or we like this. But we all try our best to keep everyone in the loop.
You're all on the same page as far as what you want to accomplish,
really,
with your music. So do you go with music first or lyrics first?
Back in the day, it was lyrics first. I think it's very heavily music first now.
So are you constantly writing lyrics and putting them aside, and then when you hear a riff, you're like, I think I got something.
90% of the lyrics I write came from a poem. I like write a lot.
So you're constantly writing.
I write short stories. I write poems, and I'll write stuff specifically for lyrics for maybe a riff I had in my head, but 9 out of 10 times, by the beginning of me showing them and by the end of it ending up in a song, the rhythm can change, this can change, and the lyrics can completely change because we try to stay open.
So you'll make changes to lyrics if the song starts to change?
Yes, and do my best to not make it incoherent.
Okay.
Like, basically, I don't like to write about stereotypical stuff, so it gets complicated if... There's been times where we wrote something, I wrote lyrics to it way ahead of time, and then by the time the drums and the bass and everything came together, at the end I'm like, okay, well, these are not going to fit, I'm going to have to write something else.
Okay.
Or sometimes the song moves me a different way. Like, by the end of it, maybe it started off feeling really thrashy, and then at the end maybe it has more of a melodic feel, and then, you know, that throws me in a different curve, and then I start writing differently.
Have any of you guys tried to attempt to change lyrics, or are you happy with the lyrics he comes up with?
Let him do his lyrics.
He's pretty creative.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, if it doesn't sound right, we're like, dude, change it, please. But that doesn't really happen too much. So.
Okay. But the music does change a lot. The songs do morph.
Yeah, they always morph.
Consistently.
I mean, I could bring a riff in, like, we should change that.
Okay.
Or no, that doesn't sound right.
Even down to the composition of the riff. Like, the riff could be a 4/4 something we brought in originally, and then like go to a 3/5 and then an 8 something, and honestly, like, nothing.
And you're so far from where you started.
It's almost scary too, because like a lot of guitar players will identify with this. I know me and him feel this way sometimes. When you write a riff, it's kind of like having this like really neat idea. You want to show it to somebody. And then one thing about being in a band, especially as open as ours, and we're like real supportive of each other, the only thing that sucks is sometimes you bring it and you're like, oh, I know this is going to get ripped the fuck apart.
So you know the guys too well is the problem.
Yeah. You know it's going to get ripped apart and changed.
But do you bring it to them just anyway, saying, we'll see what stays with this?
Got to.
Okay.
I got to give them the benefit of the doubt. He's got to give us the benefit of the doubt. And like I said, even Paulie and Ted have brought stuff to us.
So you got to really check your ego at the door when you start putting a song together.
Well, I mean, I'd be lying if I said we didn't. And like, we'll have like practices where we're all gonna write today.
Right.
And then by the end of it, we're not writing for another 3 weeks.
Okay.
There are definitely days like that, and then there's other days where it's like, oh my god, how did we get 3 songs written over the day? Like,
so it just happens.
Yeah.
Some days you
we
got
don't
it.
have to force it.
Okay, so when you start writing, you start writing. If you're not in the mood to write, you're...
Yeah, I mean, sometimes a song will take a month. Sometimes it'll take 2. Sometimes it'll take a week.
Okay, very cool.
Sometimes it takes 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't know.
All right, let's go on to the next song. We'll play it, and then we'll come back. We'll talk about it, and we'll talk more about the album and producing it and the differences between your first album and this album. So we're going to go to Diamond Cross is the second song we're going to play here. It's off the album Purging Existence. We're hanging with the guys from Flesh Engine on yourlocalnode.com. That is Flesh Engine. The song is called Diamond Cross from their album Purging Existence. And this is yourlocalnote.com. I'm RJ, Mike, hanging out in the background, making sure we sound and look good. So, guys, let's talk a little bit about Diamond Cross, and then I want to move on to the production of your album Purging Existence. Okay, Dustin, Diamond Cross, let's get a little background.
So this one, again, like our other writing process, at least for this album, the music came first. This was Dave's initial riffs for the song. Him and Paulie mainly wrote it. And then Dave actually threw a name at me, and sometimes that's actually how I write. Sometimes it's just a name. Like he's like, oh, well, what about the name Diamond Cross? Could you write something about that? Instantly, what popped in my head was like, oh, like poor people being hung on the Diamond Cross, a cause from our economy collapsing, having problems with our economy. So that's basically what the song's about. It's we hang the poorest man upon the Diamond Cross, victim of an economy that dies of rot. That's the main chorus line.
Okay. Do you feel like your songs have a little bit of anger to them?
Well, being in a metal band is really hard to
not to be angry.
Right.
The anger. There's a couple songs on our album that actually don't have a straightforward anger, but I mean that's definitely like one of those snidey type of hangers, I guess. It's one of those things where you like cringe at when you watch TV or something. You see like something like, all right, okay, we went through that massive problem with people finding jobs stuff. That's basically where that came from.
Okay, sure, and you want to write about it.
That's one of those things. It's like
so that's that. So it's sort of you're writing for the for the working class.
Yeah, I mean, though, that's where I am. I'm part of working. We all have full-time jobs.
Right.
You guys have full-time jobs.
Right.
I mean, and that's what my perspective comes from that.
Sure.
And just life in general. But
okay.
But yeah, that song was basically written for the middle class.
Have you always written like that, or have you found as you've gotten older your songs, because as you get older, you get more experience, you get more life experience.
That's an amazing point. Actually, that goes into what we were talking about earlier. My first album was literally a concept album. It was actually like a story album all the way through. And it had nothing to do with real life, almost none of it. This one is definitely, then I was 20-something, now I'm almost 30.
Right.
And I'm definitely seeing the world differently. I'm seeing a lot of stuff differently. And we actually, funny enough, like they may not write lyrics, but they definitely influenced me to go this direction.
Okay. How so? How would they influence you?
Basically, we were talking about it and like, all right, so the concept album, we got digged on that a couple times. Some people loved it, some people didn't like it so much, and not to sound like a front runner or anything, but people like life experiences.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I come from a really crappy upbringing, so I had a whole lot of life experiences to share, and I found out that it actually worked out.
Okay. Well, because it's true.
There you go.
When you're dealing with the arts, when you're dealing with music, whatever it is, even on the radio, if you're not authentic, your fans, your listeners, your readers, whatever, they'll find out very quickly. So what that tells you is what you wrote was authentic, and they responded to that.
Yeah.
If they're not responding, then they're probably not thinking that what you're doing is authentic. So that's something to be aware of as you move on.
Exactly.
All right. So you did the first album. You've talked about that. Now this album. Now, did you record this? Did you go into a studio? Do you record yourself? How do you guys do this?
We checked out a bunch of studios first, and then we settled on Blue Light Digital Sound in Mount Holly. It had the best sound. They had exactly what we wanted. So,
okay. For the first album?
For the second album.
For the second album.
Yeah.
Where'd you record the first album?
Satan's Palace.
Okay.
It was just a small studio in Cherry Hill.
Sure.
Wasn't much money. This one cost us a whole lot more to do.
Well, I mean, that's a big... and this is something we are trying to do because, and we talked about this off air, about how there's a generation that doesn't pay for music.
Right.
And what they don't realize is the amount of, first of all, effort, how many hours you guys put in putting a song together, then perfecting it. Then recording it.
Right.
Okay.
And then finding out that, hey, you know what, we're going to have to change this part because it don't sound right.
Okay. And then the amount of money it costs to rent studios. And then the pressure, because you only have X amount of dollars to get this done.
Well,
right.
That's what we said in the beginning.
And it went a whole lot more than that.
Yeah, it was like double the amount of what we expected to pay.
Wow.
Don't get any of us wrong either. The guys we worked with, Matt and Billy down there at Blue Light, they were simply amazing. Actually, honestly, just out of all the people we met, they were the most welcoming type of people.
Sure.
We didn't have one of those instances where people were like, damn, I hate my producer. I hate this recording. These guys were super. They're so nice. I wanted to hate them because they're so nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Did they, were they giving you suggestions? Or?
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's the whole thing. Like, they put it in such a nice way that you could not get mad at them. You could only get mad at yourself, which is the way it should be when you're screwing up in the studio.
Now, the first album, was it more of just an engineer type of thing, and you guys just basically were on your own?
It was a lot of different things.
I'm just trying to compare the experiences.
Right,
I'm not looking to say which is
the
better.
first one we really weren't ready for. We should have probably never did it. We should have waited.
Yeah, but if you wait till you're ready, you're never going to be ready. So
True.
why not
Honestly,
jump into it?
It was a learning experience in its own.
Yeah.
But the other thing is we're also talking about quantity versus quality.
Right.
Back then we paid per song, where now we paid per hour.
Oh, really?
No,
okay.
it was per album.
He charged per song. We got an album price. Right. Basically, it was unlimited hours with this much. So we had a quantity thing. All right, we had enough time no matter what to do, but even then, we still kind of rushed.
Yeah.
But then this time,
we recorded the album twice,
and we had to record the album twice because
that's got to be frustrating.
Various problems with ex drummers.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go.
Not that you want to get specific or anything.
We don't need to get specific. But out of everything, like the last experience was in somebody's basement, whereas this was in an actual studio.
Right.
Yeah.
And there was actually less pressure last time, but also I think the lack of the pressure caused a little more of a leniency. Whereas this time we're more pressured, also getting a fire lit under our butts to get this done right and as perfect as we can.
Well, you mentioned you started the first couple of songs that you recorded in someone's basement. Then you go to a studio that you can afford. Then you go to a studio that you're not choosing basically on price, but on what you think is going to be the best for
that's
you.
What we did this time,
and that's part of the growth. As far as the band is concerned, as far as musicians are concerned, because as you step up, you're getting better producers, better engineers, and they can push and give you advice, and it makes all the difference in the world. And we've seen this with other bands when they've gone from one album to their second to their third.
Right, production always gets better and better,
and you can hear them improving. And it's always cool when they tell you how much they've improved, and that's always a fun part. So, again in Mount Holly, what was the name of the studio?
Blue Light Digital Sound.
Okay, very cool. So you had a great experience with them.
Yes.
This Purging Existence came out in November, so you're promoting this album.
Yeah, it came out November 25th. It was released. We're on
right around Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we're on a label in Ireland called Slaney Records.
Okay.
They released it.
Very cool.
They were one of our distribution companies for a long time. Mm-hmm. And then when I told him, I was like, hey, we're getting ready to record. He's like, well, let me hear it, man. He's like, I might be interested in releasing that. Nice. When he heard it, he's like, I want it. I was like, okay. Cool. So we made a deal with him.
Does this mean maybe a trip to Europe is in the future?
It would be nice. It would be very nice. It would be real nice. Yeah.
You should try like an Indiegogo campaign. Crowdfunding.
Yeah, you could try that.
Why not?
But I mean,
gives you a different experience to write about different things.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this album, we hit Japan this time. We didn't hit Japan on the first album.
Okay.
We hit Brazil this time, which we didn't do.
Nice.
You know what I mean? So there's other countries that we actually hit this time.
Is this Slaney Records helping you out with that?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
We don't have to do any of the distribution. He does it himself.
Basically, last time it was pretty much self-released.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We self-released it this one. The label did it
Even though he doesn't give himself enough credit, Dave is amazing with promotions, amazing with getting our stuff out there.
Right.
He's the reason we had distribution in not just the U.S. last time.
Okay.
And this time, we all thought it was a better idea that take the pressure off of him that way and go with somebody that can handle it for us.
Does Slaney Records just take a percentage then? Or is there a fee?
No. We did a deal with him. He pressed so many, we got so many, he got his. When it runs out, we're up for a repress. One of them kind of deals.
Okay.
But it worked out in our favor.
Yeah, it was very simple. Basically, we handled the recording and everything ourselves. We sent in digital copies of the recording.
Okay.
He pressed the actual physical CDs. He kept half of them to make his money and gave us half as our commission.
Okay.
So he has to sell the CDs to make the money, which is awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, and in the long run, we got our CDs.
So when do you start thinking about a third album?
We're starting to write now.
Okay.
Yeah. So it'd probably take about a year or so.
Okay.
It always takes long.
How many songs did you choose from to get this album?
We just wrote the 9 for this one.
Okay, that was it.
Yeah,
these are 9.
All 9 songs we love.
But you're writing constantly, so you're picking and choosing as you go along anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if it doesn't have hooks, you know, I mean, you kind of like, well, you know, we got to do something.
I mean, we're also skipping over. There's been a lot of times where we would start up a part of a song, it would get forgotten because it didn't.
I mean, there's plenty of
stick.
songs that we just don't play.
If honestly, if we wrote every single song that we wrote, there would probably be in the hundreds.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Very cool.
Also, there's like songs that we ended up with that were parts of other songs and things that
it kind of mutates.
Pulled and pushed around.
Very good. All right, we're going to play song number 3 tonight, and then we'll come back. We'll talk about that, and then we'll talk about where people can find your music and any shows that are coming up. So that's coming up in just a few minutes. Right now, the song is called Overclocking. You're hanging with yourlocalnode.com, Flesh Engine, on a vidcast with yourlocalnode.com.
I hide behind these walls, build pressure, crash the structure of my soul. I damn it up, but the pressure compounds. In time, the cracks start to wear, though the pain and hate, it grows becoming heavier. Can any wall withstand this pressure? Explosion is happen, and my walls crumble. My will dies within my self-control. Well, wither and rot, what I become. Down, die, go. It's a cycle. Death becomes my only reason. So you will see
Song is called Overclocking. The band is Flesh Engine, and this is yourlocalnote.com. Thank you so much for joining us. All right, Dustin, what is Overclocking about?
This goes out to anybody that's been that guy that's never been outwardly angry. The whole song is literally about just that internal anger where you blow the hell up.
Oh, at one point you keep it all in.
It's one of those things where you have one of those really high tolerances, and then once you get past that tolerance, you lose it. That's why I sit there in the chorus. There's a lot of talk about furnaces exploding.
Okay.
It's a very simple, straightforward song.
Is anyone in the band like that?
I know there's a couple of us.
Yeah. Well, the ones that talk the least probably are the first one.
Okay, so the drummer with the weapons in his hand, you got to watch him. Okay, very nice.
Watch for flying drumsticks.
Very nice. All right, let's talk about the art you have with the, right now it's on your website and Facebook page. Who did that for you guys?
Noel actually did that. He's from Spain. We actually met him through another radio station. Mm-hmm. He does a lot of artwork for a lot of bands, a lot of cover photos, but he painted that. That's a straight up painting.
Did he come up with that himself after talking with you guys, or did you give him suggestions? How did that work?
Well, originally the first album artwork was about the story, and then the characters from the artwork and from the story kind of stuck. So we took what originally the second album was going to be the second part of the story, and then obviously, like we said, creative changes. But we liked the idea for the artwork, so we stuck with the main protagonist, being the Archangel, being on the front cover after the massive war.
Okay. Now this will go on your CD. CDs will have that
all
art.
CDs have it.
Okay.
We have a bunch of different merchandise, T-shirts with that artwork.
Oh, with that art, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Where can they find that merchandise then?
You can find it on our Bandcamp page. Was it flesengine.bandcamp.com. Facebook, Reverb Nation, all them.
And you can order merch through all those sites?
You can order merch through the Bandcamp site.
Okay, just through the Bandcamp.
Yeah, just through the Bandcamp site.
Also, one of the main places you can get it is at our shows.
Yeah, you can get any merch at our shows. You get the CD through our label. You get the CD through CD Baby, iTunes, the Bandcamp site.
Okay. Do you guys do vinyl?
Thank you very much.
Just wanted to ask.
Wish I'm looking for somebody now.
This would be a great time for Ted to actually start talking.
Vinyl has made a comeback.
Am I pouring salt on a wound here? Yeah. Sorry about that, Dave.
Go ahead, Ted. Explain your thoughts on vinyl.
I can't do it without that picture from the thrift store where they just have millions of old vinyl just sitting there for no reason.
So Ted, I take it then you're not pro vinyl.
I was basically said, hey, Dave, if you can get somebody to press the vinyl, I don't care. But I'm not going to pull a nickel out of my pocket.
Well, but it is making
a comeback, very good comeback.
I would say it's still a niche.
Right.
But it's a strong niche.
It hasn't gone down as like CD sales have, though.
Right.
It's going up.
Right.
More vinyl stores are popping up all over the place.
Yeah, there's something about vinyl.
Yeah.
So, and the thing is with vinyl, the cover art is so much better.
Thank you.
It's intense. So.
I feel like if we do the vinyl, we'd have to really focus on trying to sell it at art shows.
Yes. Yeah, you would have to be creative about it. Yeah. You really would. And you'd have to have it at your own shows.
There's something about double gatefold, colored vinyl, picture disc.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, what can you do with an MP3? Nothing. I mean, even a CD you can look at. And
vinyl's value now.
Okay, thanks, Paul.
I mean, vinyl holds its value. CDs don't. MP3s have no value whatsoever.
No, because they could be gone. I mean, exactly. It's now that it's in the cloud.
That's it.
Yeah, but vinyl will be in the cloud too if you burn it.
Now I see.
And I understand. I saw how well they held their value in the thrift store. I think I could have got 25 records for about 10 cents.
There is something to that. Years ago, I spun in a club, and I had all these dance tunes, and I, for years, was like, I got to get rid of these. I mean, I would, moving around, I'd have 10 or 12 crates of vinyl. And my wife is like, what are we doing with this? I'm like, okay. So I went to get rid of it, and the guy just looked at me and goes, I'm not giving you anything for this.
Like I said.
But it was all 12-inch dance stuff. It wasn't true albums because I was in a club. So that I understood. But, I've kept my vinyl albums that I grew up with.
Well, if you ever need a spare tire, right?
Yeah, nice, thanks.
Or a coaster.
Paul loves the vinyl, I can see.
Basically, Dave's the only one that wants the vinyl.
I see. Okay, now I get it. Where can people see you? Got shows coming up?
We're playing February 13th at JC Dobbs, legendary Dobbs on South Street. We're playing at, what is that place? Suck Bang Boom in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Oh, you're going down to Carolina? Okay.
Next month, we're playing with one of the bands that are on our label.
Nice. Anything locally here?
May 30th, we're playing at Sweeney's.
Okay.
So we try to do like 1 or 2 a month. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you kind of kill your draw.
Okay. Got it. When you get shows coming up, send it to us so we can put it on our calendar.
Not a problem.
Okay, very good. Guys, it was great hanging out with you and talking with you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks for having us.
And real quickly, we're going to play the title track, Purging Existence. So, Dustin, give us a little bit of background on this song.
All right. Purging Existence was... basically, it's just and before I get attacked, I want to make it clear that it's not attacking religion. It is attacking organized religion. Organized religion.
Like the mega churches who say,
mega churches,
send us money and we will be blessed.
Give us money, yeah.
I understand what you're saying.
Basically the hypocrisies behind organized religion.
Because I went to Catholic school for 12 years. I did, so I know what you're talking about. It's good stuff. All right, very cool. Purging Existence, it's the title track. I just want to remind you again, we'll have another vidcast coming up. Actually, a live vidcast is Monday on the 9th. The Aponic Blue, I believe, is the band that we have. So that's coming up on Monday. We've got another vidcast starting on Monday that will be on the homepage. These guys are going to be up on February 16th, featured on our homepage, so check them out. A lot of fun listening to their music, a lot of fun talking to them. We're going to wrap things up with Purging Existence, and again, don't forget to download our apps. Go to the respective stores, YLN, type in, and download it for free and take yourlocalnote.com with you anywhere you're going. This is yourlocalnote.com. Thank you so much to Flesh Engine, and the song is called Purging Existence.